Somehow in life, I've always had plan B, to leave, to fly somewhere far away on my own. And right now, that plan came in handy. I'd spent over 8 months in the Netherlands preparing for probably the craziest idea I've ever had. A 1.5 year long cycling journey. But after 7 months of my hard work season, I completely burned out. I started forgetting why I was doing all of this, there wasn't enough time for all the things I wanted, and money wasn't piling up as quickly as it did at the start of my preparation. And I decided, it was time. Even though I had to put my cycling trip on hold, I still wanted to tick off a few things. At least visit some European countries I hadn't been to yet. And the main goal was simple: have as much fun as possible while spending as little money as I could, which I would need a little later. I only had 2 weeks to travel, shoot some footage and get a few things done in the Netherlands, so I had to move fast. I started with Paris, arrived early in the morning and left late at night to avoid paying for accommodation. In return, I got a 17 hours walking marathon and 50,000 steps, but it was totally worth it. The city pleasantly surprised me. I'm not really a fan of cities, architecture, or cultural landmarks like museums, which, as you probably know, Paris is famous for. And yet, Paris somehow became my favorite capital in Europe.
We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Oh, just the two of us.
You know that feeling when you like something but you can't really explain why? For me, it might be some personal association. Imagine a lonely wanderer long away from home, strolling through the city of love and romance, capturing happy couples on camera during a rare break from working on his dream. After a day of rest following my return from Paris, I was set to fly to Spain for a few days with my friend Danik. After the Paris Marathon, I had planned to take it easy in Alicante, stroll around, soak in the atmosphere, and take breaks for siestas.
Анапа 2003.
Анапа 2026.
But as always, the moment I saw all the beauty around me, I got carried away. Suddenly, the street photographer inside me woke up. The trip to Spain was one of the few times when I traveled with someone else. And every time I compare, would it have been better to go alone or not? Every time I come back to the same thoughts. I enjoy it either way, and both have their pros and cons. The most obvious and noticeable thing is that when you're alone, you don't have to think about anything except yourself and your own desires. At the same time, wandering through Spanish neighborhood with a camera is much calmer and way more fun when you're not alone. I won't dwell too much on this, just sometimes you need a change of scenery. Spain inspired me so much that by the time I was heading back to the airport, I was already limping after walking about 100 kilometers. Up to that point, I had only managed to photograph and shoot in Belgium and France with my Zevia 10 Mark II, which I'd bought just a few months earlier and didn't have the chance to test properly. But in Spain, I really noticed the difference. I'm getting better at shooting with every new trip. I shot 1 hour flight and I was in Porto. Even though my legs were begging for mercy after Paris and Spain, I only had 3 days here, so there was no time for naps or sitting in cafes. Anyway, after a short walk on the first day, mostly because check-in wasn't until 5 PM, I spent the rest of the evening in the hostel, which I'd missed so much. And right away I noticed the difference compared to hostels in Southeast Asia. Beyond the obvious price difference, of course, is the atmosphere. In Asia, hostels are places where people with shared interests and amazing stories gather, where you can find adventures or friends in just a few minutes. In Europe, at least in my experience, hostels are just places to sleep, often not even full-on backpackers, just people who don't want to pay more. Anyway, after a sleepless night, there was no more time for slacking. I went out to shoot.
All this is very slippery stones. And to get a good shot I need to get over there. By the way, there are just millions and millions of clumps or muscles. I'm so dirty, but it's very worth it.
It was amazing. My first time ever seeing the ocean. Even the storm added its own vibe, with the waves being absolutely huge. Maybe they're always like that, but I like to think something was happening just for me. At one point, the weather even cleared enough for me to fly my drone and sit on the rocks, gazing out toward America, imagining how long ago colonies set off into the unknown across these very waves.
I bought it like days ago. Look at the spot I just found! Whoa! This is insane! Waves are huge! The sound is just so loud! I don't know if you can hear it through the micro. I see the ocean for the first time in my life. That's something. That's just something. Today I'm conquering all the boulders in Porto. I wanted to go over there, but as you can see, no, I will not do it today. But Porto surprised me a lot. I was really tired after Spain. I walked there 100 kilometers and my legs were fucked up yesterday. I filmed a little bit and thought today I'm gonna spend the whole day in the hostel, but God bless, the weather was better and I decided to go out. And I do not regret at all. This is just amazing day.
And since we're talking about colonization, there was one last country that had once truly mastered it. Honestly, on my first full day in Edinburgh after arriving and resting, all I could think about was that I didn't like Scotland. Maybe it was because I was really tired, time was limited and I had to rush to see and shoot as much as possible while spending as little money as I could. Or maybe it's because I'm from Latvia, a country just as grey with the same awful weather and dreary buildings. I've always hated this kind of atmosphere and wanted to escape it. Even though I had bad weather in Portugal too, it didn't stop me from fully enjoying the city and capturing amazing shots, even during the storm. That was what I was thinking before breakfast. On the other hand, I was finally in the place where I didn't even need to wonder whether someone spoke English before starting conversation. Mixed with the fact that I knew the local language and the atmosphere was as miserable, it reminded me a bit of visiting home. I decided I need to think more positively. I had seen enough cities and I needed a place where I could feel closer to what I love the most, being in the wild. Of course, I couldn't go far away from people, but from the city I could see one spot that I decided would be my final boss for this trip. Considering the weather, I was absolutely right. A hill with a 300-meter climb, wind, mud, slippery rocks, a backpack full of gear and my white Air Forces.
Oh Jesus, why am I doing this kind of shit all the time? See you there, by the way. No oxygen, no sheriffs, no water. Everest is next. Oh, yes. Фу, бля. Just fucking die. After this trip, I'll be sick for sure. I swear to God, I thought it was gonna be easier. It's getting dangerous.
Overall, the time after splitting from my friend in Spain felt like a perfect meditation. I barely spoke to anyone and was alone with myself, my thoughts and my plans. I realized that at the moment I probably enjoy traveling alone more. And traveling without a vehicle, carrying a ton of gear usually in less than ideal weather, that's pure house.
La 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 la. Hi mom. This is absolutely safe. And I'm alright. And I'm so happy that finally I use my DJI camera. After I bought a normal cinematic camera, I almost didn't use the first one. And today finally I need my action camera because this is quite an action. Damn. I woke up today in the hostel and I felt like shit. Not because I felt bad. Even my legs are quite okay now. Just I woke up and like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? I have just to do. Oh my fucking god! I almost fell down. I mean, I have only 2 days in Edinburgh and I didn't know what to do here. I just come here just to put this check mark that I've been in UK. And finally, after I got some breakfast, after this hiking, I feel that I came here not just for fun. I did some achievement. Yeah, definitely. Congratulations, Daniel. I spent 15 minutes to get to the dead end. I need to go there and then go down. I'm tired. Okay, good news is that it wasn't a dead end. The bad news, I don't know if you can see, but it's very steep. The guy behind me, he chose another way. Easiest one. We'll see.
I also confirmed that traveling through Europe is expensive, but at the same time it's so easy that not even interesting after what I've experienced in Asia. But I'm growing, gaining experience, and over time things will get more comfortable while still keeping the adventures alive.